for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease. Just the bare necessities of life. Hello there, Scotty. You're not as we continue Dis-Cember 2022. We are on. Fix it up. It's a little iffy on this makeshift thing. So, we are on the Jungle Book. I can shut a door too. Jungle Book, coming out in 1967, is one of my childhood favorites. It tells the story of Mowgli, a man cub, lost in the jungle and raised by wolves, now at, 9 years old or so. He is tasked by the wolves to take. He is told, Bagheera, who first found him, I believe, is tasked with bringing him to the man village, afraid that Shere Khan, the king of the jungle, my eyes did something weird. I thought it was zooming in by itself or something. I don't know. That Shere Khan, the king of the jungle, at least in this movie, will find him and try to. Along the way, though, Mowgli meets a hapless bear named Baloo, who teaches him about the bear necessities and wants to become his papa bear. But Bagheera is adamant that he be taken back to the man village, despite the fact that Mowgli doesn't want to go. And Mowgli then has encounters with apes, / monkeys, snakes, tigers, and buzzards. Well, vultures, whatever. Yes. So right away, this movie gets me going. It's got the art style that you're used to from those Disney films around this time. That looks really good. And this was on DVD, but I feel like it is a restored version because, well, I've watched the VHS, and the VHS looks worse than this. So, but this looked good for a restoration. It looks really good. And 15-tier screen, which is surprising to me because usually they just put them in widescreen, but this 15-tier screen was really, really, really cool. So I don't know much about the voice cast other than Sterling Holloway, who did the voice of Kaa, was also Winnie the Pooh, among other voice roles for Disney. And then you have Phil Harris, who's probably my favorite voice actor in this. Because Phil Harris not only voiced Baloo here, but he temporarily voiced it on Tailspin before his health declined and he had to, and his voice was getting up there. They had to give the role to someone else. He was also Little John and Robin Hood, which I'll be talking about here in a couple reviews from now. And yes, that movie was basically rotoscoped. Scenes from that movie was rotoscoped from this, like the dance scene with Little John and Lady Hen, or whatever her name is rotoscoped from the dance of Louie and Baloo here. And Baloo, Phil Harris would also go on to the voice of his last voice role, actually, of at least in a movie, in Rockadoodle, playing Patu, the dog who can't tie his shoes. Because dogs don't know how to tie shoes, but they made a whole point of that in that movie. Eventually I'm going to have to do a review for that, but I don't own it, and I want to own it. But it's expensive to buy. That's for sure, but, yes. And, yeah, so that's the whole plot of this movie. It is a basic plot. Have to take the man cub to the man village. And then stuff happens. Like Bagheera's like, he gets told he's got to take Mowgli back to the man village. First problem, Baloo. And And Baloo basically talks to Mowgli, you could stay here in the jungle, don't listen to old Baggy, and let's go. And then during that, Mowgli is kidnapped by, we get the Great Necessities song, and Mowgli is kidnapped by monkeys / apes, because King Louie himself is an orangutan, which is an ape, not a monkey. But yes, and then we get the I Want to Be Like You song, which Baloo infiltrates. Right? He has 2 encounters with Kaa. There's one at the beginning here, but Bagheera saves him. And then after the King Louie debacle, once again, they, decide you have to. Bagheera's like, Baloo, you have to take him to the man village. So we're off again, but then once Mowgli figures out that Baloo wants to take him there, he runs off, and he immediately runs into Kaa. There's also encounters with an elephant group, which is ran by Colonel Hathi, or Hathi, whatever. And it's apparent that these characters have some connections, which was confusing. When I watched the show, growing up, there was Jungle Cubs, and I was confused. I was like, how do they all know each other? Then rewatching this, they do all know each other. They know who they are, know who each other are. They know. They just, like Bagheera knows who Baloo is and vice versa. They know about Shere Khan. They all know who Kaa is, and even Colonel Hathi's marching group, because Hathi was a character on that show. So, yeah, they all know, and King Louie too, that's in there. They all know who they are, who each other is, I guess, who each other is. So, yeah, there's that connection. So, if you were a kid like me growing up going, they didn't know each other, watch it now as an adult. Watch it with your kids if you want an excuse, but watch it now as an adult and you'll see they did in fact know each other if you missed it when you were a kid, And there's a couple scenes. There's one where Bagheera and Mowgli are introduced to them at the beginning so they can have a scene later. And there's this little boy, Junior. And shock of all shocks, when I was looking up on Wikipedia to find out that little elephant, Junior, is voiced by none other than Mr. Grenadine from My Ice Cream Treats himself, Clint Howard. I was like, that can't be. And I clicked it. There he was. That Clint Howard. I was like, I know he'd been in show business a long time, like his brother. He was on Star Trek, the child alien thing, the original series Star Trek. So, yeah, but I never realized that was Clint Howard, and now I'm like, people are like, what's your favorite Clint Howard movie? I can't say Ice Cream Man anymore. I gotta say The Jungle Book, and they'll be like, huh? I'm like, well, technically he's in it, and I love that movie more than Ice Cream Man, so, okay, let me rephrase that. What's your favorite movie that Clint Howard stars in? Oh, Ice Cream Man. They're the only one I've watched it in. Well, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4. But, we don't talk about that one. But yeah. So that shocked me. And so after the debacle, Bagheera goes back and says, hey, tell Colonel Hathi, we need your help. And Colonel Hathi just dismisses him until his wife speaks up and says, hey, you're going to, do what he says, help find, but they don't do jack. They don't do jack. And after Mowgli gets away from Kaa, which almost has an encounter with Shere Khan, and here's where I have a problem. So, Shere Khan hypnotizes people with his eyes. So, during the song, though, he says, close your eyes, which Mowgli does, then he shouldn't be hypnotized anymore. But he closes his eyes. He shouldn't be hypnotized anymore, but he still is. Because you got eye contact, you got to be, I don't know, it's confusing. But it eventually wears off as Kaa is talking to Shere Khan. So Mowgli gets away. Yes, Mowgli gets away. And then we meet the vultures, who I believe, I didn't do any research on this, but I believe they're supposed to be based on the Beatles. They have a gag which the bald one says, well, what do we do? And the mop top blonde one, who I think is like a George Harrison one, he's like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And then, don't stop that again, that sort of thing. And you can see where they could sort of be the Beatles. The balding one is like Paul McCartney. The blonde mop top one is George Harrison. The dark hair mop top one is so this is Christmas. What have you done? John Lennon. And then the other one is Ringo Starr. You can see that they're inspiration from the Beatles, but I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. Don't take my word for it. It's just word of mouth. Okay, but they come in there, they sing "Well, That's What Friends Are For," and then Shere Khan shows up for the final showdown. Do 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 do. And yeah, and Baloo comes to help fight Shere Khan, but it's Mowgli who gets him away with fire. It starts to rain. We get teased that Baloo has died, and this is, you can tell that this is back in an age where Disney was kind of dark, because you don't know, is Baloo dead? Plus there's several times where they say Shere Khan wants to kill Mowgli, basically, but he's okay. And then they're going through the jungle again, and Baloo's like, I'm never gonna let you go, by the fact that Bagheera, I guess, maybe still wants to take him back to the man village, because you just saw there is a danger. I mean, he can defend himself, but is he always going to have an accident on fire? The only reason that branch was on fire was because lightning struck it. He's going to get that lucky again. Was it divine intervention from up above? Was it the angels from the outfield? Their first attempt? Was it Al? Was like, oh, summon fire. Was Al an angel in 1967? I don't know. I'm crossing two movies together again. Don't do that. But yeah. So but unfortunately, Baloo's resolve and Mowgli's resolve for him to stay in the jungle is ruined by the thing that all men have to deal with growing up: puberty. Because he sees a girl singing and filling up a thing of water, and he's just like, mm-hmm. And in Baloo's like, there are hints that Baloo has been married before. I know he's a bear in the jungle, but if Colonel Hathi can have a wife right before, because there's when Bagheera is explaining to him, oh, you wouldn't marry a panther, would you? Well, I don't know. Never been asked by a panther before. And he tries to, would you marry a panther? You wouldn't marry a panther, would you? I don't know what you're talking about, Baloo. But like, yeah, and then here's, no, you don't want anything to do with that. Like, he's dealt with women before, so I don't know, but that's pretty good, Baloo. Oh no, you don't want anything to do with that. Not bad. I don't have a Baloo impression per se, but yeah. But Mowgli decides to go with the girl, back to the man village, and okay. This is adult Scotty speaking that didn't catch it when kid Scotty watched this. But that girl totally has fuck me eyes for Mowgli. She is, moment she sees him, she's like, you're mine. Like she wants Mowgli. She wants it bad. Here's a problem, and correct me if I'm wrong. In the Indian culture, when you have a red dot on your forehead, doesn't that mean that you're taken, that you're married? This girl has to be about the same age of Mowgli, and she has a red dot. Maybe the animators didn't understand what that meant, but I thought in the Indian culture, a red dot on your forehead when you're a woman means that you're married. Or it doesn't mean you're single. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I studied that stuff in school, so correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. I don't know. Maybe it is the opposite. Maybe he means that she's single. I don't know, but and they just walk off, and then Baloo and Bagheera sing the bare necessities as the credits roll, and it shows that Baloo and Bagheera are going to be friends, or friends again if you count Jungle Cubs as canon, which you can, because I think there is that that thing where they do know each other, so they could have been friends growing up. So who knows? And with the way they are, with the loose, laid back attitude and Bagheera's no nonsense, keep in line thing, they could have broken apart. It happens. But yeah, Jungle Book is one of my favorites. I think it's the first of this year, but I'm going to say it goes to the moon. It doesn't really have a lull for me. To be honest, I kind of quite enjoyed it. And to be honest, I was actually going to put it on and start. And I need to clear some stuff off the floor in the kitchen here. My dishes are behind the camera. I got to put them away. They're all dirty. They're all clean. Excuse me. They're not dirty. They're all clean. But I got to put them away. And I got to go check my laundry. So I was going to try to combine that stuff, but I got into the movie. I got into it. I figured I've seen this movie a million times, put it on the background and do stuff, but I got into it. Like the King Louie dance thing. I want to be like you, ooh, ooh. It still looks good to this day. Just the whole dancing and everything. Yeah, this movie, to the moon, for sure. So what are your thoughts on Jungle Book? In the comments below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And now you look back at the classic Mark Twain tale starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah. Till then, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.